Okay, waiting 1 more minute. Tom Baumann should be here immediately.
Good.
Let's see the slides. Is there anything you particularly want me to say?
No, you say what you think it's necessary to say.
Yeah, I will, but I mean, if I can help you with any messages, I'm happy to support. No?
I'll deliver my messages.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay.
It's just that it's a long and bumpy road ahead of us.
Yeah, no, it's true. So not to overinflate.
No, because then expectations are maybe not met as soon as people would want us to.
Yeah, no,
We're gonna get there. That's for sure.
Yeah. This is true.
Okay.
Start,
I would say we start, yeah. Okay, here it comes. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the press conference on circular economy and digital innovation. My name is Miroslav Polzer. I'm the founder and CEO of the International Association for the Advancement of Innovative Approaches to Global Challenges and the founding member of the Climate Change Coalition. And we are here today to talk about ways towards carbon neutral, climate neutral Europe and carbon neutral, climate neutral and resource efficient member state Slovenia. And we are proud and happy to be accompanied here by the Minister of the Environment and Spatial Planning, Simon Zajc from the Republic of Slovenia, and Felicity Spors from Climate Kick, the knowledge and innovation community of the European Union, a leader in building the knowledge base and finding the right solutions for climate action, and Tom Baumann, the co-chair of the Climate Change Coalition. And with this, I would give immediately the floor to our representative of Climate Kick to give a thematic introduction into the topic.
So, good afternoon, everybody. Just a brief introduction. EIT Climate Kick is a climate innovation agency and a community working to change the systems and environments we live in to reach net carbon societies. We are supported by the European Institute for Innovation and Technology, and we are made up of a community of partners. And as you see over the years, we have grown rapidly. Our partners include businesses, higher education representatives, cities, regions, research organizations, and also our alumni, which means that we have access to over 2,000 agents working for climate action. Climate Kick was originally envisaged when it was established 10 years ago in 2010 as the MIT of Europe, hence EIT, and it was given the mission to develop jobs and economic growth in Europe around society objectives such as climate change. In the last 10 years, we have provided 2,000 jobs, increased 17,000 education opportunities through our master's programs and through online courses, and we have leveraged 3.4 billion euros with the money that we received from the European Institute for Innovation and Technology. The basis of this 10 years of experience has resulted in a reflection around about 2016 where we looked at what we were doing and we asked ourselves, are we delivering on climate change? And we noticed that we're not delivering on systemic changes. We were delivering single source projects, which in and of themselves were very, very good, but they were not delivering this domino effect, a systems action where things were scaling up. And so we decided to move from a project finance model and a single project model towards a siloed approach, towards a portfolio of activities and experiments. And today, I'd like to talk about the method that we apply, and this method we're looking at in supporting Slovenia, and I'm very, very proud to be sitting here, achieve their goal of becoming a circular economy, the first in Europe if they can. And so what Climate Kick is doing with the government of Slovenia is we're working with them around our systems innovation methodology. And it has 4 components. And the first is to understand and map the systems change. The second is to define an intervention strategy. And then to look at feedback loops. Now, feedback loops are things like when you develop flooding resilience measures, you might overlook the fact, when you develop it just as a project, that the fishermen that then live there will no longer have a livelihood, and that the land will go up in price, and the people who currently live there won't be able to live there. So you have a feedback loop. And we try to take into consideration this holistic view to make sure we don't have perverse effects. And so Climate Kick's role in this is orchestrating this portfolio of activities and identifying it. So in Climate Kick language, we identify or want to work with those who are championing climate action, who recognize the need to move further, faster, quicker, and recognize that innovation has a role to play in affecting that urgency. So we're working at the moment with the government of Slovenia around their circular economy planning, and the government of Bulgaria is watching very closely because they're also very interested in this approach. The timeline, as I mentioned in our methodology, is that we started in January and April working with the Slovenian government and ministries, and then we worked out a design around what could be done for the program. And we've basically got to the point now at the end of the year where we're looking towards implementation of that program. So this is all very theoretical. So the people who are helping us design and implement that program are the EIT Raw Materials, Joint Research Centre, and Clean Tech Bulgaria. So what does this look like on the ground? What am I talking about? Systems and all these interlinkages, very theoretical. On the ground, Slovenia has decided it would like to establish a circular economy lab. And that lab is basically defined, or the program underpinning that lab, when it's established, has this sort of matrix. So let me just walk you through it quickly. The first column, the Create Circular Communities, is affecting people around circular change. It requires behavior change, education, and we need to understand the synergies. So there's a research component. The second column is looking at how to foster circular development in industry. So you're looking at circular performance, energy efficiency, how does this affect our small and medium enterprises? And then we're also looking at the institutional aspects and the legal aspects around what does it mean to have a transitions policy hub? What does it mean to have procurement from the government that is focused on supporting circular economy? And we're looking at these 3 pillars across 5 value chains. I'll come to that in a minute. And underpinning it is a logic for investment called transformation capital in a circular economy. So these are the 5 value chains. So we're looking at these aspects, these columns affecting community, industry, and institutions across forestry, the built environment, mobility, manufacturing, and food systems. And this is the investment logic. Clearly, the finance we have today supporting innovation with its short-termism and its inability to take risk acknowledging the climate impacts is not going to go far enough. And digital solutions such as blockchain will enable us to factor in prices for the environmental externalities that we're currently not pricing to enable us to better support the transition to a circular economy. So that is the nuts and bolts of what I wanted to share with you about the how we're doing it. Maybe I could turn over to the why we're doing it to the Minister. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So yeah, the question why is an important question for a country like Slovenia, which doesn't have many natural resources. Basically what we have is forests and water. It's a really strategic decision that circular economy should be our goal. Why? every year, in the beginning of the year, around May, we, as a nation, we do consume all the natural resources that belong to us for that year, which means that if everybody would, if every economy would do like this for also in the future, we would need additional 3 planets. So for us, there was no-brainer. Circular economy and a better resource management is something that Slovenia, and I believe the rest of the world as well, should do, and should do fast. Otherwise, we're gonna have a big problem. The way we look at the circular economy is not just an additional cost. It's not just something that it's good to talk about, but we believe that the countries that are going to really implement the circular economy into their systems are going to have an advantage. It's not going to be a cost for them, but it's going to be something that is going to make them champions in the economy in the future. If we will not go down that way, the resources are going to get more expensive, the final products are going to get more expensive, and the governments will have problems regarding the budgets and running the country. So for us, making a circular economy as a strategic goal was not a question at all. It was a necessity. And what we're trying to do now is to become the bridging country in the Southeast Europe. We want to be the country that can share and teach other countries how to implement the circular economy into their environments. This is our goal, and with Climate Kick and other partners, we believe that we're going to be successful. But I must be honest, the road to there is not, it's not easy. It's full of bumps. And those challenges that we are facing are not easy to tackle, but we are doing it. And it is obvious also that without using the new technologies and digitalization, we will not be successful. But I must say that right now we are implementing the system at our Agency for the Environment, where we want to collect all the data that we have about the environment, about the resources, and it's tough and expensive and how can I say, a project full of surprises. But we are determined to be one of the best countries regarding the circular economy, and therefore we are not afraid of it. But I must be honest, it's the challenges are quite big.
Thank you very much, Minister Seitz. It's really wonderful to see here really a commitment to this transition to climate neutrality. And the day today is really a perfect timing. In a few minutes at 1 o'clock in Brussels, there's a special plenary session of the European Parliament where the President of the European Commission is going to present the plan for the European Green Deal. So it is the path and the target that the European Union has chosen, and having really member states showing this kind of leadership is wonderful, and also your recognition that digital innovation, innovation in general will be a very important element of this pathway towards circular economy is well heard. And for our organization, this is a very important bridge to these processes. We have set up, in the context of the COP25, a digital innovation community with the Climate Chain Coalition as the main block, and Mr. Tom Baumann will tell us a little bit more about how digital technology can support climate action, and we hope that we can build bridges between the digital innovators in this community and your efforts in Slovenia about creating circular economies.
Thank you very much, Miroslav. Hello, everyone, and I'd like to express my supreme thanks to Slovenia and Climate Kick for their leadership. I'm from Canada, so we have plenty of forests and water as well, and I think that the most valuable resource is leadership. And so what you're doing deserves a lot of congratulations. That's, of course, not easy, as you said, and to make real change, it won't be easy. So it's very good to see that you're doing that. So I'm co-chair of the Climate Change Coalition along with Masamba Toe, who's with the UN Climate Change Secretariat. We're pleased to count Climate Kick as one of our members and key partners. We've had several meetings and events with them over the course of COP25 and are looking forward to increasing our collaboration with Climate Kick in their new systems innovation and transformation strategy. As well, Miroslav Polzler is an indispensable leader in the Climate Change Coalition, so thanks to you again, Miroslav. So the coalition is an open, global, multi-stakeholder innovation network for digital solutions to enhance climate actions. It's a not-for-profit. The word chain in our name refers to blockchain and distributed ledgers in terms of the technologies involved, but chain also refers to the human chain and the collaboration that's going to be needed on the non-technical innovations, the governance innovations, for example. And so the Blockchain Coalition looks at these technologies not simply in terms of carbon accounting, carbon registries, the carbon budget, or carbon trading, but looking more holistically at climate actions overall, so adaptation, finance, even climate positive types of applications. So the regenerative economy is a good example as well, and of course circular economy. The coalition is 2 years old. We started just after COP23 at the One Planet Summit. We had a founding meeting, Miroslav was there, myself, of 12 organizations, and now today we're nearly 200 organizations in 46 countries, so we have a couple of organizations joining every week on average. And that really speaks to the global interest in using digital technologies in the space of climate, but sustainability more broadly speaking as well. In fact, blockchain for sustainability globally is counts in the hundreds and hundreds of organizations that are involved. The coalition is a combination of blockchain solution developers, but they represent maybe 40% of our membership. The other 60% are users and other stakeholders such as researchers, on-the-ground NGOs, and big initiatives such as Climate Kick, and governments as well. So that multi-stakeholder approach is absolutely essential to ensure digital technologies meet the needs of various stakeholders. It's important to have data-driven solutions to inform policy, make investment decisions, but all of those solutions also need to be purpose-driven. And so if that is a circular economy within a particular sector to ensure equitable sharing of resources, whether that's within a community or even intergenerationally, are the types of additional non-technical components of this innovative infrastructure that the coalition is working towards in collaboration with partners such as Climate Kick and the European Commission and the Secretariat. I hand it over to Miroslav to elaborate more on those initiatives.
I would just like provide an additional information that within this digital innovation community in the UNFCCC process, we have now formed ourselves. We have morning meetings here every day between 10 and 11 a.m. in meeting room 6 in hall 9. And we have an exhibit booth. It's exhibit booth number 14, where you can learn more. On tomorrow at 6 p.m. is a reception at the UNFCCC Partnerships Pavilion, where you are very welcome to join us, where we are celebrating innovative non-state actors' engagement together with the education, communication, and outreach stakeholders community. And one of our flagship initiatives is that we are working towards having at the COP26 a digital innovation pavilion. And as Slovenia has also great technology leaders, for instance, at the Institute Jožef Stefan, there has been set up now a UNESCO Center for Artificial Intelligence, and we would certainly try to build also bridges between your competence holders and the global processes so that we together develop and showcase and empower solutions and work together towards these big aims of European Union and the government of Slovenia. And are there any questions? Please, could we have a microphone here in the front?
Here's one here. Oh, it's coming.
And could you identify yourself with your name and
Thank you, moderator. Satoru Mizuguchi, freelance journalist. Could you repeat the name of your coalitions and who steer the alliance, and what kind of tangible product or goals will you make? And finally, what is transformation capital for circular economy? It's a new way of funding or money? Thanks.
Okay, I would say that in terms of the structures that we have here, we have had press conferences on Saturday about the Climate Change Coalition and on Monday for the Digital Innovation Community, and the videos are available on demand. So I would suggest you have a look on it, and we are available the next 2 days at exhibit booth number 14 for further discussions. And in terms of the transformative capital for circular economy, if somebody else would like to add information.
Transformation capital is a logic around financing. So in and of itself, it is not a new fund. But it does describe the way that Climate Kick delivers the money that we accrue. So we have funding of 100 million a year from the European Institute for Innovation and Technology, but we also have money from private sector participants and investors coming up to, I think we have I haven't got the totals of this year, it varies each year because people invest in certain activities, but we're coming up to 150 million budget control, which we've been managing for the 10 years. So the way, it's a narrative, it helps people understand on the outside what we're looking for when we invest, which is transformation. We are looking to understand, but we are innovators. So we don't want to say we have the answer, come and look at us, and we don't want to say come and look at Slovenia, they have the answer. What we're saying is we see where we've got to get to. We need to move away from single project financing and look at portfolios of financing, where within that there's not a lot of perfect projects, but they're good enough, and the risk is hedged by combining those activities. But they must interlink, and you must look at the interlinkages, and finance needs to value that. At the moment, it's not valued, and that's why we use our money as seed money to help initiatives start. And then we work with projects and activities to always secure more money. That is what we do.
Maybe I would
add
something here. In Slovenia, we are already funding this transition to circular economy through the existing funds. Yeah. Since we have decided that this is the direction we want to go to, we just use the existing possibilities of funding the companies, and also through our climate fund, which was set up exactly to do that, to prepare our economy for the climate change and to adapt our economy to new facts that will happen in the near future. So we know now that we're going to have problems with getting some of the natural resources in the future. So if every smart country will prepare and invest in this transformation, because it's going to save us from a lot of headaches in the future when certain, let's say, gold, silver, and so on will not be available anymore. So we need to have an economy that's already in this present time prepared for this situation in the near, 10, 20 years.
And I should add that we've done analysis on circular economy, and it actually is the most cost-effective means to achieve these goals according to current analysis. We will be refining that around the Slovenia deep demonstration as we get data. where data can be provided.
Yeah.
With support of blockchain and modern technology, we hope that that data can become more robust. So hopefully as we move along, we will be able to actually showcase how effective this approach is.
Wonderful. So, as I see no further questions, I would thank you for your attendance, especially also to the Minister. I wish you much success with the negotiations, and the world is looking at this place here with great hope, and we need bold action and leadership, and thank you for whatever leadership you can provide. Hvala lepa. Lep dan.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure. It was a good question.
Yeah, I was.
Financing, what we need to do now is just take a look at the existing funds
Yeah.
we can use. Analyze.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to supporting the distribution of those funds. I understand that you have some questions. Do you have any questions about climate tech, or is there any experience you'd like to know more about, or you're all over it?
For now, I'm okay, but we're going to start now with this group that's